Doing a painting of Herbie. I'm working from a photograph at the moment, doing some sketches, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into this one. I first saw you play with a band called Sky,
Right.
in the Brighton Dome. So how did that band come about? Who started that band? Or?
It started with, I'd been booked along with Tristan Fry, timpani player with the Academy of St Martin in the Fields.
Yeah.
And he wanted to learn to play the drums, although he's a genius percussionist. And we were on a session for John Williams and Julian Bream. I think it was called Together. They were the opposite ends of the musical rainbow or spectrum.
Yeah.
And it was Francis Monkman, who was the keyboard player, said, "God, I'm enjoying this." And John said, "Well, shall we I think it was Julian, so why don't you put a band together?" Which we did. So we decided we'd all write a couple of pieces.
Right.
And within a couple of months, we had a whole album of material, and we realised how well we all got on.
Well, it was a fantastic band, yeah.
Well, it was, but it was never meant to be a career by itself, because John Williams has his own magnificent career.
Sure.
That being in a band could only be part of it.
Yeah.
I have my career as a studio player and a freelance. It means I get to play. If I'm in a band, I play 20 songs over and over until you know, oh gosh. And so it fitted in our diaries, but it meant that perhaps we only had 2 or 3 times a year where we could all be together and go and do a little tour. Yeah. Which we did. I think we did, 10 albums altogether.
Well, I have one album. I bought one album, I remember.
Sitting around saying, what do we call it? And we were saying things, all sorts of strange names. Like, I'll tell you how we do it. Right, what's your mum's maiden name?
Wall.
Wall? And what's the name of your first pet?
I'll say Lucky.
Lucky Wall. What a great name for a band. Sky took our logo. Yeah. And in a way, people were thinking that we were a lot to do with that. But I think our manager tried to get a little honorarium, like to honour the fact that they linked our name and our thing, but they never replied.
No. How did you become a musician? What got you started playing? And
Tiffin Boys School.
Tiffin Boys School.
Very posh school in Kingston. And the first Saturday that I went there was like open day. The parents could meet the teachers and this, that and the other. Wanted somebody, one of the new intake, to do something. So I said, yes, I'll sing a song. And I got up on the stage in front of all the mums and dads.
How old were you?
10 and a half. 10 and a half. Had an invitation to go to Auntie Flo's. She thinks an awful lot of me. So round to tea I goes. We had bread and butter and jelly and winkles in the pan. She offered me a small one, and then the fun began. Oh, I couldn't get my winkle out. Isn't it a sin? The more I try to get it out, the more it slips back in. And as I was singing, I could see 2 black curtains, and the curtains shut.
Oh, right.
And I stood in pitch blackness.
Yeah.
No one clapped. No, it was obviously not PC to have sung that song. No. They said, right, sport, you can choose rugby or cross country or whatever, lacrosse, whatever that was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an Irish game, isn't it? To get out of doing those sports, you could either join the school band or the school allotment, things like that. So I went to the band room to see Mr. George Spriggs.
Okay.
And he said, what do you play? I said, well, a little bit of piano. He said, oh, well, what is that, major or minor chord? I said, well, it's you playing a C, G, E and an A. He said, oh, that's clever.
You knew the notes there.
Perfect pitch. So he said, oh, right, you can be in the school band. What instrument would you like? One of those. And he pointed to a line of tubas. I said, I like the look of that. And he said, right, you can practice it. You can come here every Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock and Thursday afternoon, sports time, see.
Perfect.
And this was it. This is 120 years old.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
One thing I've noticed, it seems to be a lot of different colours.
Yeah, well, that was because I spent 9 years in the Royal Air Force with this.
Yeah.
This very machine. 1912. It's a Hawks Excelsior Sonorous. It's nickel and tin.
Yeah.
So it used to get black, and in the service it was really difficult to clean it with Duraglit, and you'd get it everywhere. And when I came out of the MAF, I took it to a music shop in Denham and said, can you recondition it? He says, no, it's difficult. It's quite thin. You've spent years polishing it like you had to. You couldn't have a dirty instrument in the services. And he said, why don't you paint it? I said, what with? He said, dope. Yeah. And I said, what's that? He said, it's what they paint aeroplanes with. It's not terps or white spirit.
Yeah.
It's like nail varnish.
Oh, I see.
But,
it's lost.
So it's myself and my 8-year-old daughter and my 6-year-old son, we spent a day painting it, and it looks so lovely.
Yeah.
But it's been with me. I've been married to it ever since, and it's been on a lot of hit records like Grandad, Bannerman. Gosh, I can't think of any of the others, but lots of them. It's a bit like the Hancock's Half Hour. That I didn't play on that, but I have to play it on gigs.
I recognise the sound. Yeah,
and I love it. It's like kissing. It's that much safer. My dad, who'd been in the Royal Air Force for 9 years, from 1920 to 1929, he said, your way out is to apply for early call-up, which is what I did. And I went and did square bashing, and they said, you can choose a trade, and on this list was cook or cook assistant, all sorts of other things. SHW, I said, what does that stand for? And they said, oh, that's house waller. So I thought it was administrative orderly, and I said, what's that? He said, oh, that's bandsman, but you have to sign on for 5 years. And if you sign on for 5 years, you'll get £250.
Wow.
I said, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I had to have an audition on tuba, which I passed. And then halfway through the course at Royal Air Force Uxbridge, they sent 27 of us out to Singapore on a troop ship.
Oh, right.
For, 2.5, 3 years.
To play for the troops?
To play for the Far East Air Force Band. And play for the troops, because there was the Malayan emergency going on.
Yeah.
And there were thousands of American troops.
Yeah.
It was the end of the French Indochina War, the Korean thing, and this and the other. And there were loads of bases, and we used to go and do a marching parade through the thing.
Did you?
Like, with standards flying.
And you'd be on the
bands
tuba.
playing, fixed bayonets.
Oh my God.
And then in the evening you play in a little jazz band. But by then, I thought,
you were picking it up.
I mean, going in the clubs, seeing these lovely Filipino and American and whoever playing in jazz groups. And I discovered Charlie Parker and Miles Davis. And I thought, that's...
You're taken towards
I wish I was
jazz.
One of them. And the guy just said, "You got to get your head down, and get on with it." And we had lots of little groups, and travelled about, and we were doing very well. The nice thing is, we were learning thousands of standards. Lady is a Tramp, Chattanooga Tune, you know.
So you're doing the sort of groundwork.
But we were in the FIAF band, Far East Air Force, but we called ourselves the Malayan Airs. Well, because there was the Squadron Airs, we thought that would be quite groovy. And doing gigs in Raffles Hotel and wherever.
Yeah, the groundwork. Yeah,
the groundwork. And the first recording session I did was 1957 in BBC Hong Kong.
Really?
It was a bit like the BBC World Service.
Playing the tuba or the bass?
Playing the double bass.
Double bass,
and then putting the double bass down
Yeah.
picking up the tuba to do Honeysuckle Rose.
Oh, lovely.
And
Yeah.
also whatever else. So
Yeah.
there was that
Oh.
kind of jazz.
Got
and,
into it. Yeah.
Also Dixie. I was in a club that we set up called the Changi Variety Club.
Yeah.
And we charged $1 to get in. And we raised loads of money to go towards the building of the first Leonard Cheshire home out in Changi in Singapore. And
Did
it's
you?
still there.
Oh, fantastic.
But we
yeah.
used to have Thursday night jazz, and it was an
Yeah.
all-ranks club.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my wife, who was the Colonel's daughter.
Fantastic.
So did you take that picture of Herbie there, and you're working from that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went round to see him, and I'd been actually to tune his piano earlier this year, and I suddenly thought, wow, Herbie would make a great subject for a painting. And I said, Herbie, how do you feel about me doing a painting? He said, yeah, sure. So I took the photo, and I like to work from photos to get initially. I'm not that confident about sitting in front of someone just painting away. I haven't really got that confidence yet. And when I paint, I like to have an outline of what I'm painting on the canvas. So I do like to do a bit of prep before I actually start painting. And I'll do most of the painting here, do some at Herbie's, but most of the finishing I'll do here in my own time, because I like to get something on canvas, let it dry, and then great thing with oils is you can move it around, tidy it up, paint over. So yeah, that's how I'll approach it.
In the middle of a tour, I got a call asking if I would like to do a month rather,
Yeah.
at the Theatre Royal in Drury Lane,
Yeah.
working for Eartha Kitt. And
Yeah.
when I got there on the first day of rehearsals,
Mm.
I had 2 orange bass speakers.
Yeah.
And Eartha Kitt said, who are you? I said, I'm Herbie. And she, so I think
Yeah.
she might have wondered what I was doing. Anyway, they had to paint my amplifiers black
Yeah.
because the orange stuck
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah.
nothing
I
should
remember the
stick
orange.
out.
I remember the orange speakers.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And getting to work for people like her was
Yeah.
just totally
Incredible. You did a month.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
demanding. I used to
Yeah.
do work for members of the Beatles, like
Okay.
if McCartney, he phoned me up one day,
Yeah.
and Anne
Yeah.
said, "It's a bloke who reckons he's Paul McCartney." This is going back in the late
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
So I went down the ladder. Said, yeah. He said, "Oh, it's Paul here." Oh, hello. I thought it was a prank.
Yeah.
He says, "Can you get to Abbey Road?" I said, "Yes."
Yeah.
Why? He said, "Well, I want you to put bass on something." I said, "Well,
Yeah.
you're a bass player. You're the bass player in the world. Why aren't you doing it?" He said, "Well, it's for a band called Scaffold, and my brother
Yes.
is in it,
Yeah.
and I'm producing it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be up in the control box
No.
listening to stuff and play the bass. And
All right. Yeah.
you copy some of my bass lines, Herbie, so
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd like to
Fantastic.
come and do the bass." But
Yeah.
playing on that,
Yeah.
and it was a big hit,
Yeah.
and we did a few live gigs,
Yeah.
you get to be what's called flavour of the month.
Of course. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're on 3 or 4 hits, and I
Yeah.
did some stuff for Ringo, I think it was called Come Smell the Roses,
Oh, did you?
and then
yeah.
something
Yeah.
for George called
Yeah.
Somewhere in England. Likewise working for Bowie, David, bless him. He was comfortable
Yeah.
working with 3 or 4 of us lot, because we'd
Yeah.
done a lot of, right at the beginning of his career. In
Yeah.
fact, there'd been a previous version of Space Oddity that Tony DeFries thought wasn't quite, it didn't quite hack it. Also, they got Gus Dudgeon, who then got Terry Cox on drums, Rick Wakeman.
Was he on? Oh, of course he was. He was on.
Yeah, well, he went down a
Yeah,
shop and he came
yeah.
back with it looked like
Yeah.
a packet of fags, and it was a stylophone. Whether he bought it or he found it on the
And he did-
ledge in the
yeah.
studio, I never
Yeah.
asked him.
No.
But
And he
it's on
did-
Space Oddity.
Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how you met David, and then you went on to meet Lou Reed. Obviously, we know you.
Well, yeah,
Lou Reed
after,
story,
yes,
yeah.
I mean, before, we'd just done an album called Diamond Dogs for David, which was actually going to be called the 1984 Floor Show.
Yeah.
But David couldn't get permission.
No.
From George Orwell's, is it George?
George Orwell, yeah.
From his estate.
Yeah.
Said, no, you can't use the 1984 Floor Show. So David very quickly built it and rebuilt it and called it Diamond Dogs, and got an artist to repaint some pictures with his face on them. It's quite...
yeah, it's amazing.
It's a bit spooky, the album sleeve, but an amazing... captivating image. Went on tour, but before going on tour, this geezer called Lou Reed had rolled up in London. I think David had invited him over. Yeah. And I got booked to be in Trident Studios at 10 o'clock that Monday morning, and I got there and there was only Richie Dahmer, a drummer. Mick Ronson was the bloke who got there, said, hello Herb, this is Lou, hello, and well, we'll get cracking. And I said, how does it go? He said, well, the first number it's a bar of C, and a bar of F, and then a bar of C, and a bar of F. I said, Then what? He said, a bar of C, a bar of F. I said, okay. And we started it, and Lou sang a rough vocal, which I think they actually kept, and it was just really a lament. It was it was in honour of a lot of people that Lou knew. Yeah. And it actually was what led a whole movement of people that were going up and down King's Road in Chelsea, and every shop was playing Walk on a Wild Side.
Oh no, it's a massive hit. Did
I mean, I cheated on the recording by playing on the double bass, boom, 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 and asked if I could overdub on the electric bass, so that the two together
made that
portamento
sound.
Made quite an unusual thing. You can only do it once on one record, and if anybody else does it, they go, here.
Fantastic.
And it was.
Well, when you work on these songs, do you have any inkling that there might be a hit, or do you just think, oh, well, that's another song done?
Oh, when you're doing stuff, I was quite pleased with doing the sessions for Lou, because all the songs were empty. You know, there weren't tons of violins or four guitars. It was just kind
simple,
of
beautiful
very
music.
raw. So you could hear every little inflection in Lou's voice. Nothing trod on it. You know, it's like on Space Oddity. Ground control to Major Tom. Dum dum dum. And then try and like not
overcrowding it.
Not sit right on a word.
Give it space. Give it some.
A little space. Space Oddity. A Perfect Day.
Perfect Day. What
that was the last one on the
song.
album.
Beautiful
but
song.
I also took this up on the second day.
Did you? Yeah.
Because I said I might. I've got my double bass and I've got my electric bass. I might bring the tuba. There might be something. To use it on, and sure enough, Good Night Ladies.
It's on that, is it?
Yeah, and it was done in one take, and as soon as it was done, the engineer said that doesn't need anything else on it. It was
Sounds
just the
great.
four things, and
And you're a writer as well. I know you write. You write many songs.
I compose, and even now, suddenly my toes curl up. I'm not a natural composer. A lot of things like Grandad.
Well, it was a nice hit, wasn't it?
Well, it's my doorbell.
Yeah, was it? That gave you the idea for the tune, didn't it?
No, I met Clive Dunn in a fish and chip shop in Barnes. I went to pick my dad up from the Barnes Labour Party. Him and Harry Martin. And I was sitting in this fish and chip shop, and a bloke came in and had got his thing, and I recognised him.
It was Clive Dunn, was it?
Yeah. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm a musician. You know, I just come to pick me down." "Oh, you're a musician. What do you play?" I said, "I play bass." He said, "Yeah, on Sunday, I'm at Abbey Road Studios, and they want me to do 2 songs."
Clive Dunn did.
Yeah. I said, "What sort?" He said, "Well, I've written one," and he picked up two spoons that were on a bit of aluminium spoons on a bit of like the chain that fixes them to a sink.
Oh yeah.
And he went,
Yeah.
I play the spoons.
Did
I said, oh yeah, great. And he said, and if there's another song, he said, if you want to write something, we'll do it. I phoned Ken Pickett, see if he'd come round and they'll
give you a hand.
put the lyrics together.
Yeah.
And he rang my doorbell. Ding dong. Which was Granddad.
And gave you idea. Yeah. You did a lot of work on the rock shops for the kids.
Well, yeah, but what we used to do, I get about 12 of the top musicians, Mike Hatchard, Barry Morgan, and all sorts of fantastic players from different areas of the music profession. And we get 100 young musicians who could apply to come on it. Yeah. Like at Brighton Dome, they let us use the Corn Exchange for a week in the summer or in the spring. Yeah. And we'd spend a week with these 100 young musicians where the rules were that only original material, and they had to do it themselves. They had to write songs and form bands with the help of musicians to help them with presentation and all sorts of stuff. And at the end of the week, on a Friday night, there was Big Night Out, the rock shop Big Night Out, where parents and friends were invited to the Corn Exchange, and you get 500 people at the concert. But do you know, there were, I mean, crikey, we must have done over 100 rock shops down at the Dartington Summer School, Ardingly College, different schools, the Roundhouse.
Your jazz breakfasts. You must have started the jazz breakfast. I can't imagine anyone else starting a jazz breakfast.
It's difficult. Like a lot of people, musicians will say, "Well, how do you get gigs?" And say, "Well, you actually have to go and ask the public and
come play.
Come and play on a Thursday night and a folk club or this or whatever else." And you're hoping that you do a record and you get a bit of radio play, and then along come the biggies and they sign you up, and it's quite a difficult business to get into.
So, what advice would you give a young musician who wants to start playing?
Practice.
Practice, yeah.
But if you're standing at a bus stop waiting for a bus, go dun 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 dun.
Get the music.
Get music connected from your brain to your arm, so that you can pick the guitar up when you get home and go dun 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 dun. Like I might go. I might at the bus stop go dun 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 dun. Connecting yourself up with this, which means
think music in your head.
Then you can go, bum bum bum. You come up with stuff. Yeah. The Joen Sukal Punken Orchestra.
Oh,
that's my missus is in an orchestra in Finland, and that's the name of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And occasionally I go over to Finland, and when I'm there, we've got a little jazz trio called Two Grandfathers and a Russian. The pianist is from Azerbaijan. The fiddle player is a grandfather. Yeah. And I'm a grandfather.
Well, perfect.
And we do a few gigs in a few of the little clubs. Yeah. There, and it's such good fun.
Sounds it, yeah.
Well, it's nice being freelance. Then I might go on tour for a month doing Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds.
So how did you get into War of the Worlds, for example?
40 years ago. Jeff Wayne, who Chris Spedding, Barry Morgan, and myself, Barry is a drummer, and Chris Spedding, who's still going, is doing guitar work for Brian Ferry and Robert Gordon. Yeah. And we used to do jingles for Jeff Wayne.
Okay.
Who was he wrote more jingles than anyone.
Did
Stuff
he?
like
for
Jaffa Cake and whatever else. Yeah. And he would book us. Yeah. During one of the jingles that we had, Jeff Wayne said, I'm working on a project called Jeff Wayne's musical version of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
It's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. But H.G. Wells was one of my favourite authors. Yeah. And because he was a Fabian, which I'm inclined to be as well. Good. Plus, he wrote The History of Mr. Polly, which was my favourite book because it was about a bloke that kind of was nearly a misfit and a mischief maker, but was a nice bloke.
You
really, and I
identified
used
with
to
him.
imagine that was me.
Yeah.
And Jeff said, what we're doing, we're recording it, and we recorded it in 3 or in a week.
Live.
Well, it was
orchestra.
fantastic. It was 2 hours of music.
With orchestra and narration by...
Well, no, they would lay the rhythm section first and put rough vocals, and then perhaps a week later Jeff would put an orchestra on top of that. It was a much more efficient way of doing it because we only had 8-track and 16-track machines then, so you were limited to...
how much you could do.
And the spill from electric instruments going down the microphones of violins.
Would be,
So we used to use a click track. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. And it was great, it worked. Jeff said one day we might be able to go on tour and do this. There wasn't the technology. There was no TV screens on stage.
So it was recorded in the 70s. When was the recording first?
Yeah, and we didn't start doing a tour until what? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we do one a year.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it is. We've been to Australia and New Zealand and everywhere.
So you're one of the originals in the band?
Yes. There was Chris Spedding and Barry Morgan, bless his soul, and myself that were in the original recording.
Fantastic, yeah.
And I think because of that, Jeff...
got you back?
Yes, because then the punters would recognise the connection. Because they actually go to see and hear a live rendition of the recording. They don't want you to do it absolutely precise. But if you started playing something, they shout, play the record.
Yes, right. So this is an old favourite of yours, I guess, this instrument?
Yes, I've had this. I got it off my bandmaster for 50 quid, 5 shillings a week.
Wow. Yeah. Beautiful. Have you got a name for it?
The bass.
The bass, yeah.
Proper bass.
Beautiful sound, yeah.
It was made in late 1890 or something. It's the Hawks.
Is it
same
Hawks?
Company as my tuba of all things.
Hawks, yeah.
And Hawks, before they amalgamated
with Boozies,
they made silver instruments.
Yeah.
And they made wooden instruments, I think for the military, maybe the chamber orchestras. Yeah. But also, they were known as the noble bass.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
Ebony bricked in.
Yeah.
Quite.
Beautiful sound,
It is, very gentle.
Yeah. Yeah, gorgeous. And this has been on a lot of recordings as well, is it?
Lovely story about Big Noise from Winnetka, where the band were late coming back, and Bob Crosby, who's Bing Crosby's brother, said Ray Baldock and go up and do something. So
did he?
The drummer went and the bass. And then he went. I can't whistle and play, but and that became Big Noise from Winnetka, which was a worldwide hit, and it's still a masterpiece of modern of ancient recording that was for.
Oh yeah, is that the Pink Panther?
Yeah. What goes up?
And this was the instrument you played on those recordings.
Yeah. All the Pink Panther movies.
The tone. Beautiful. Here we are, Tim. Ready for the handover?
Big day, Dave.
Big day, yeah. Finally finished at last. Just make sure, let's hope he's in. There he is.
Hi, Herbie.
Hello, David.
Did you come in?
Yes, please, come in. Come in. Hello.
Thank you.
What's that?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Claire.
I'm Tim. I think we've met before.
Yes, hello. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Have you bought a present?
I have, yeah. You're. All right.
No, we're fanfare.
Oh,
Ah,
wow.
blimey. Got enough light?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Gosh.
Are they your own teeth?
Yes, actually.
Oh,
That's
thank
beautiful.
you.
Gosh.
Pleasure.
So
I've really
it's
enjoyed
oil.
it.
It's oil.
It's oil, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Now I really am a two-faced liar. Oh, that's wonderful,
Yeah,
David.
really enjoyed. Okay.
Ah, I say. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Ingledew, we call him. Oh, his full name is Dave Paddy Ingledew. He's a world-famous piano maker, seller, tuner, and painter. Look at that.
Thank you, Herbie.
Still is the night.